third term I'm on a Master's of Urban Design, and part of my study was going to Vancouver, and I compared Vancouver to Queenstown. And there are a lot of similarities. It's got 2 million people, but it's got a spectacular setting, and it was undergoing huge growth. This growth was coming from immigration, from tourism, and from the knowledge economy. And they were having a lot of problem with the fact they couldn't get people into town. The town was dispersing. The freeways were taking people out to the suburbs. And how did they solve it? They got density and height coupled with great public transport and great public amenity. So the second shift was they rezoned everything into residential. They pushed for housing intensity. They insisted on diversity. Now more people live in Vancouver and commute out than live out in the suburbs and commute in. The big shift though was they said there will be no new roads. There was a move to put a freeway into town called the Downtown Penetrator. This caused a huge uprising, and they decided actually they were going to make congestion work for them. Abandoning this decision of the Downtown Penetrator, think Main Street bypass, led to making congestion your biggest ally in promoting public transport. And instead of the $33 million for the Main Street bypass, imagine if we put that into the e-bikes, the bike systems, the walking systems, the public transport. What a great system we'd have. And also, people don't want to live on a freeway. They want to live in neighbourhoods, and these sort of neighbourhoods, the urban amenity with wide streets, great piazzas, places you can sit. People do want to live here. So, I'm losing myself. Oh, we're zooming ahead. Bikes. So, the mayor is a mad cyclist. He's just dropped all these concrete blocks down the road and created cycle lanes. And, of course, there's the city bike system. That's amazing. And the other thing they've got is a social density bonus. You can go higher, provided you provide public amenity. For example, an art gallery at the bottom of your building, or contribution to plazas and things like that. They took out political interference. All these decisions were made in collaboration with the developers. So they get the developer and the council together and decide what's best for the town. I've got a few ideas of interventions of my own, how we could apply this to Queenstown. Number one is we need to embrace Calvin Peninsula as part of Queenstown. We need to bring people to the sun and the people from Calvin Heights into town. But it's more like, why couldn't we actually create a really good link there? I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, those are the lessons for Queenstown. I've got too much to say and I'm going to run out of time. So, here we go. Living first, no new highways, design the public realm, cooperate with developers, engage in debate. There we go. So that ferry link is absolutely crucial, and you've got to be able to take your bike on it. And I'm not talking about Calvin Heights coming to Queenstown. The big thing about Queenstown is it's dark in the winter. People want to be able to get to the sunshine in their lunch hour. But I mean, there's a bigger issue, and I remember Basil Walker saying, you know, we could use that for housing, and there are certain areas that maybe we could use Calvin Peninsula for housing, and that could actually become part of Queenstown with that really good link, because we're trying to get people and families living in town, not on this big highway route and trying to get into town. Really, you just want to create this very pedestrian environment, and I'm sure a lot of people would retire into town if there was warm, fantastic housing. So activate your edges, you know, seal all our bike paths. That way we can really use them all the time. Or we can use them to lie around and lounge around. And separate them from the cyclists so the cyclists aren't threatened. Create some really warm, dense, local housing. That's a village in Norway. Who wouldn't want to live there with all that wonderful high density and water amenity and warmth and great public spaces around it? These are places for families. They've got balconies, they've got public amenity. And picking up on what Leah, let's get rid of all that grass and those trees. Like the trees can go to the edges in St. Omer Park. Let's create one big plaza that we can have these fireworks events, we can have dance-offs, we can have jazz. We need a big piazza in our town, a nice hard space. They're not scared of doing that in Europe. Get some changing stations on the beach so everyone can get changed and use the beach. So you can sell the advertising, you might turn up looking at like that person. But these are just little canvas things, and you lift it, go in the flat, you change your clothes, you can come out again, you might be biking, you're sweaty, you want to change into other clothes, whoop, there you go, into work. Here's a camper van idea, a gated camper van community on the outskirts of town. We don't want those big camper vans coming in. €10, you stay there for the day, it gives you 2 free bus rides into town. Think Gorge Road or Shotover, and you've solved, don't let those camper vans come and park and lumber around town. Okay, intensive housing areas, yes, Gorge Road, Lakeview, the controversial one. Think about Calvin Peninsula, it's a community asset. Who gets to use it? Not that many people. There's a nice little narrow neck on there facing this water ski lanes and the beach. If you had, you could fit 1,000 people there. Don't forget your cultural and community heart. Again, I'm not sure why we're doing that Man Street bypass. What is it really achieving? What could that 33 million do for, what's the best bang for your buck? Because we're not, as we've said, we're not going to be using these cars for very much longer in the same way. The congestion just isn't going to be there. But what we really do need is, and we've all talked about, creativity and etc. Where is our design champion? We did used to have a design champion. The leading cities, Auckland, Vancouver, have design champions. We need someone that's going to gather up these creative ideas and promote them actively to the council. Thank you.